She was 16 weeks pregnant, and we found out that Lucas was going to have club feet.
During our pregnancy at 20 weeks, she was a triplet, and we found out that she was diagnosed with spina bifida.
Angelica was born at 26 weeks. She weighed less than 2 pounds. She has a mild form of cerebral palsy.
I have scoliosis, and scoliosis is actually a curvature of the spine.
She is a double bilateral amputee. We come to have her prosthetics made.
She had meningitis, 10 months old, MUSC. She had a blood clot disease that backed up the blood at her feet and her fingertips, and that's what caused her fingertips to be gone and her feet to be amputated.
She had a double ankle disarticulation when she was a year old, and we were accepted into the Shriners program at about 18, 20 months. And since then, she's almost 12 now, they've been making her legs. We had a gentleman in our life that he has since passed, but he was very much a grandfather to the twins. And he was very familiar with the Shriners program. And when everything happened, he started very quickly finding out what it took to get Pam here. You know, we know she's getting the best care that she can get. We know tried and true as far as that they're going to specialize in what's going to be best for a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, and so on. For us too, it has meant that, you know, we haven't had to lose our house and lose our cars and, you know, sacrifice because of the financial help, even with insurance.
We were so excited for his ultrasound to find out if we were having a boy or a girl, and that was the only thing on our mind, was boy or girl, and what are we gonna name him? And at the ultrasound, the doctor said that there was something wrong. And after looking at it and seeing a specialist, that's when they diagnosed him with club feet. Lucas's feet, both of his ankles were turned so that his toes were almost touching. The club feet would prevent him from walking. It's pretty debilitating. I think our specialist even recommended Shriners. So it was a friend and a specialist. Several people knew that Shriners would be the greatest fit for him to treat him. So we were really fortunate from right away, as before he was even born, to know that we were going to go to Shriners. They turned his ankles as far as they would go, and then they put a cast on him. And then after he was finished with that process, they did a little surgery where they clipped the heel cord so that his ankles or his feet would kind of pop up the way they're supposed to, and a little bit more casting, special shoes to kind of hold the treatment, and now nothing.
Yeah, he can run, he can jump off stairs, he can jump off furniture.
Climb
sometimes.
trees.
He can climb trees. He's very active. He runs and jumps and plays just like any other kid, and
balls.
he kicks balls, plays baseball, plays soccer. But yeah, he's just a normal 5-year-old now.
Before Lucas was born, and I knew that he was going to have club feet, I prayed for a miracle. I did. I prayed. I believed God would heal him before he was even born. And God didn't, but he gave us Shriners. And I know that the Lord had his hand in that.
I found that Shriners provide the exceptional care for children, and certainly children with Angelica's diagnosis. She has spastic diplegia, cerebral palsy. She's very limited. She doesn't walk because of her cerebral palsy. We've not been able to find good care at our home area, so we're willing to drive the distance of 3 hours to get her the care that she needs. Shriners has helped Angelica tremendously. About 3 years ago, we were connected with Shriners through a doctor in the Augusta area. Angelica's legs were bent. And I kept saying, as she started to grow in years, we need to do something about this to get her out of the wheelchair because her legs will continue to be formed that way. It's amazing that no one listened until about 3 years ago. We were connected with Shriners. The doctors listened, asked what is it that we are looking for Shriners to do. And I said, at the beginning, let's just see if we can straighten her legs. We can do that. And they put her in straight casting for over the course of 9 weeks, and they straightened her legs. But to see those legs straighten when others were saying and looking at us as though nothing could be done, it's priceless for us and for Angelica. My hat's off to Shriners tenfold for helping Angelica to have straightened legs. And by having these straightened legs, she's no longer, if you will, totally confined to a wheelchair. She's able to use a dynamic stander. She's able to stand in it. She's able to propel herself around in it. It has given her more freedom, more mobility in her daily activities.
During our pregnancy at 20 weeks, she was a triplet, and we found out that she was diagnosed with spina bifida. Spina bifida is a neural tube defect, and we were set up early on to meet with Shriners, kind of have a game plan of what to expect. We met with all of our future doctors that would perform surgeries at birth, and it really helped us to know kind of what to anticipate.
Well, my dad was a Shriner, so growing up, I've always been affiliated with the Shriners. And then when we were found out we had triplets, we were sent over to maternal fetal medicine, and then they made the connection here with Shriners. Well, Shriners is an amazing place. You not only get the surgeries, the therapies, the people that administer these programs. I mean, prepared us along the way. One of the major things for us, of course, would have been the cost. The medical cost would have been phenomenal. Right, the first 3 or 4 years of her life, she had 7 major surgeries. So the surgeries allowed her not only to be able to stand up, and to you and me, that's pretty simple, but to her, it's a pretty major thing. The few times that she does get to stand up straight, it's kind of a different world than what she's used to. So she would never have been able to have that opportunity without the surgeries that Shriners provided.
I have scoliosis, and scoliosis is actually a curvature of the spine.
She has a spinal fusion, which is where they go into your back and they put 2 metal rods and they basically fuse. They straighten her back out as much as they could, and they put the rods on either side and they fuse it all together. And they use cadaver bone marrow to put it all together to kind of make the putty to harden the back so that now she has a new straight spine. She would not have lived a normal life. It wasn't a matter of if but when that it happened. But once you get over 50 degrees, it keeps progressing as you get older. And she would have been very deformed. She would have been, slumped over. Her rib cage would have been pressing into her organs, which would have caused damage. She would have problem breathing when she got older. She probably wouldn't have been able to have children because of the way that her body would have been formed. So she would have been very handicapped and limited to a lot of things, normal activities in life. And I don't know life expectancy, what it would have been if she hadn't had surgery. I would want people to know that, and I've always said this for my experience here, I wish every hospital could be like the Shriners Hospital. I wish adult hospitals could be like the Shriners Hospital, because they all love being here. They all have a genuine heart for this hospital and for children. And they don't make it like it's a hospital. They make it like it's a family taking care of other people. There's a positive attitude. I think people and children get well faster because of the attitude that's in this hospital. And it's not a matter of, oh, you're next, so you're my next patient to see, or I'm running in to give you medicine. It's they want to come in and see you. And so it's such a positive, uplifting atmosphere if you have to be in a hospital, that I would want to share that with everybody and not have any reservations. If your child has to have surgery, to come to Shriners Hospital, because this is the best hospital they could ever go to and the best care.
I know I always tell people that, you think when you see somebody on the side of the road with a bucket saying, give money to this, give money to that, and you always think, God, I wonder where does the money go? You see somebody like Pam, you know where the money goes. She's wearing it. It takes a lot of money. I've looked into things. I've tried to help people estimate how much money Shriners has provided our family. The numbers are astronomical. So, when there's that guy in the funny hat, they always say, selling a candy bar, he's helping somebody like my daughter walk.
We went to a board meeting of the Shriners a few years ago, and they had a video of a girl from another country who was 16, who they were just getting. Shriners was just getting her to treat her. So she had lived 16 years with club feet, the same that Lucas would have had, and she walked around on the bones of her ankles. She was horribly disfigured from her feet down. She was in constant pain. She'd been that way her whole life. And that was the first time I had seen what Lucas would have had to do without Shriners, what he would have had to go through if he had not had the treatment. So that moment was when I realized how great of a blessing Shriners was for us.
Shriners, regarding our family, it has given us a new lease on life, if you will. And I know that's kind of like a statement that a lot of people use, but unless you're in the situation that families like us are in with children who have medical conditions, it's beyond priceless.
What Shriners has done for us, we're able to at least anticipate what's going to happen. The surgeries, again, that I said we would never have been able to afford, even I'm not sure our insurance would have covered some of it, have made a difference in our lives, and just the peace of mind of knowing that the experts here have absolutely taken care of her and given her a whole new outlook on life, given us a whole new outlook on life.
I recently competed in the Miss South Carolina teen pageant, winning overall physical fitness, and I'm a Shriners kid.
I'm going to be an advocate and fight for children's rights, and I'm a Shriners kid.
I like to swim, I like to play outside, and I like to swing. I like to jump.
I like to swim, surf, and play softball, and I am a Shriners kid.